Hello and welcome back to Operations with Void. My name is Forgotten Void, and I was asked about the northern spawns in Killer Whale. So in Killer Whale, the reinforcements, you have several ships that spawn in the northeast, and I was asked to do a video showcasing where those spawns actually were. Now, some people have and still do consider this an exploit because you're spawn camping. But in my experience, most PvE games, it's not considered a bad exploit. It's just a way to ensure victory. Now, PvP, it is absolutely terrible because there is someone with feelings on the other side, and you shouldn't do that because you're hurting their feelings. But, well, at least for now, bots don't have feelings. Maybe when AI gets better, they'll have feelings, but for now, these bots do not have feelings. So the object is just to get them out fast. Now, as you can see, we have the Tashkent 39 popped up. I will be first throwing up a video of what to do in a cruiser and how to reach the north, and then as a destroyer, we'll do that. And I will cut the video so that we're not sitting and waiting 2 minutes between spawns. So, with that, let's go into battle. So, with, here we are, we're already shooting at forts. With the cruiser, you more or less do the same thing. Now here, I'm sitting back and waiting because I'm looking at the other cruiser. They spawned on the far right. I'm watching the Shimanto and the other cruiser over there. I'm waiting to see if they are going to cut all the way to A8, A9. Because if they are, then I wouldn't go that way. Is the spawns at the 8-9, they're a little bit better known. And so here I was actually wondering, am I going to go to the A1 section? But when I saw the cruisers turn in, I know they were just turning broadside to get off all their guns for the forts and the Nuremberg, despite it not really being a thing. And you really don't need to turn all the way over to get all your guns out. So if you're not going to go the north route on there, then you shouldn't need to be turning flat broadside to the enemy ships. Just use your front guns. And we see the forts are going away quickly, which is good because the fort that just was destroyed was an armor-piercing one. So when you're going in, you're wanting to take out the forts and the Nuremberg. If you want, you can throw shells at the other ships. But we're needing our speed, so because we spawned on the far side and we were a little bit late to the party because we weren't sure if we were going to go that way or not. So when you're going through in a cruiser, you are going to be shooting at the other ships, providing some support. You're not going to go up there and do nothing. You should be doing some support as long as there's something to shoot at. So we're going to switch to this fort, take it out. Actually, we should have an armor piercing loaded. In fact, you can notice we did 6k to the fort with high explosive, and there's half of its HP with armor piercing, and there's all of the rest of the HP with armor piercing. In fact, if you get a good salvo, you can absolutely delete the forts with a single salvo. And so now we're going after the secondary objectives, since we're going over this way anyways. And to keep your team from being distracted, we're just going to get all the shore installations. It's not so much that... It's a little bit of XP, just a little bit from the ribbon, but not a lot. But what it does do is it helps your team focus on the enemy rather than also going up north and doing something that doesn't really matter. Since we're going up north, it's just something to do on the way. And so now that we're going in, we have killed everything. All the things. All that's left are the 2 forts, which with even at tier 6 with 150s, you need to be around 6 kilometers to pen them. But with the tier 8, pen's better, and so we can pen them with armor piercing from further out. You see, we're shooting from 8 kilometers and already getting some pens. As long as we don't just ricochet all of them or miss. Yeah. And so that's 1 fort down. And the other fort is easy. And so this is the pathway in. Then you sit just to the left of the 8-9 line with your cruiser. And otherwise it will be the same, more or less the same as the next segment where we show a destroyer. Now, if you notice, we are on the outside. In this case, we're in a destroyer, we're on the outside. This is because the destroyer needs more time to take out the forts. They can't just take it out with 1 salvo. The marker can get away with maybe going on the inside, but you might as well just go on the outside anyways. So if you notice, the HE, we're only shooting a little bit, and that's to attempt to get it on fire. Now we're going to AP, and we're actually doing damage. We are getting citadel damage with these guns using armor piercing, as long as it penetrates. And so you have to be within 2 kilometers using destroyer caliber guns to penetrate, except for German 127s, 128s. The German small caliber ones, I'm not even sure if they'll penetrate the forts. And that's why with German ships you want to have the 150s on your destroyer, which is why Gade's so good with the 150 option. 150 and Hydro, and Z39 with 150s and Hydro. Yeah. Z39 makes Z31 look bad. It's just Z39 was removed from the shop right as the new German destroyer line came in, and that is most likely because it made the new line look so utterly garbage by being a street better. But anyways, enough with serious theories. Here we are going within 2 kilometers because it's the Tashkent and fast Russian destroyer. We go much closer than we need to. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the fort has trouble shooting down. It has very bad downward depression. Yeah. Downward angles depression. So it allows us to not take much damage. And then we are moving into position to take out the cruiser. The first one's going to be a cruiser. And this is where it becomes a waiting game, because you're just waiting for your team to go in. And I know in this one we're in a full division. It doesn't matter if you're in a division or not. We're in a full division and there's 1 green triangle. That is the Commander Jenkins. You get achievement if he stays alive throughout the battle. So we're just getting into position here. And so the wiki article that is linked in this video, that will have that has the exact timings. But if you kill the battleships early, then the timing is moved up based on however early you kill them. So here we see that battleships are dead, and so the cruiser has spawned in. If it didn't, we would have been waiting here for another 2 minutes. And see, 3 or 4 torpedoes is plenty for the cruiser. And so we're moving to our next position, and that is mostly what we're going to be doing. So with that, we'll go ahead and skip ahead to the next section. And here we've skipped ahead. The battleship should be spawning in shortly. As you can see, the rest of our team is engaging, and here comes the battleship. Now you want to aim under aim. You don't want to aim at the white line. You want to under aim, because the Bayern comes in, well, all the ships come in speeding ahead. And so we activate our smoke. If we were further away, maybe it could have actually unspotted us. But because we were close enough that we were in the detection range, we also killed it before the smoke took effect. So in a destroyer, this is a tactic that you can use if you're far away. You launch the torps, and then you smoke up so that you're not taking damage. Only really works with the Bayern. Yeah, so as I said, you're under leading with the torpedoes because they come in very fast, and then they're immediately slow down and turn. There you see. And if they don't come in quickly, you might have to deal with a Fubuki. But sorry, if your allies don't go out of the bay quickly, then the Fubuki might come all the way over to you. In a cruiser, that's no issue. In a destroyer, specifically like Tashkent, that can't shoot it down, that might be an issue. I also do this in Loyang, which can absolutely deal with a Fubuki. So, and here we are. We've gotten into position, more or less into position, which is in between the 5 and 6 lines, and this is where you want to be for the next one. And so we'll just go ahead and jump ahead to the spawn. And here we are. Normally these ships would spawn in at 6.5, but they spawned in at 8.5. So if you notice, we put one set of torpedo onto the Nuremberg and the other 2 on the Bayern. This is something the Tashkent gets to do because it has triple rack. So the Tashkent, the Akatsuki, Fubuki, these ships can split up their torpedoes, and you do one there and 2 the other and be fine and not have to worry about the reload booster. After this, if you don't have a reload booster and you have after this, not having a reload booster would be difficult in a destroyer. In a cruiser, on the other hand, normally you have a rack or 2 on each side. You want to have 2 racks on each side, or a rack of 5. So the Russian cruisers with a rack of 5 on each side can do that. Anyways, the next wave will also be at this location. So we'll just go ahead and skip on to that. Okay, and with this, the ships should be spawning in shortly. If you notice, what we're doing is we are clearing out because we're in a division, we can do this. But even if you're not in a division and you are killing these ships over here, it allows the rest of your team to clear them out. And we're popping smoke to try and get away, to try and survive. And because the spawns are 2 minutes in between, we can dump all of our torpedoes and be fine. And so with this is a way to get away. A gunboat destroyer might be able to, actually probably can gun down the Maas because anemic HE, and it wants to go bow in even further reducing its DPM, but we're a torpedo destroyer, so we cannot. And the last spawn is only 2 minutes later. It is the only one that does not follow the same timing. Again, all the timings are on the Wikipedia. So with that, we'll go ahead and skip to the last spawn. And if you haven't noticed already, each of these waves, the reinforcement waves, go up by 1 tier level. So this last one is a Hipper because it's tier 8, with the other two being a Bismarck and Z-23. And so we don't have a heal or a lot of HPs as a destroyer, so we go down, but we are able to take all of them down with the detonation. Nothing like overkill. And because we died and there are 3 in the circle, that was an immediate end. So 300k, if you get all the ships, all 5 spawns, you can expect around 300,000, maybe more, around 200, 250,000. If you're in a cruiser, you can help with the other ships. And you're getting full damage on them. So you are going to get a lot of XP, and so this is a good way to get XP in a ship. So with that, that is the location of the northeastern spawns. And a lot of people just commonly refer to it as the north route for killer whale. Do with this information as you will. And next week around this time, I should be posting a video showing the northwestern spawns. So go ahead and look forward to that. And then our weekly killer whale video, which will be a few days after that, should be in a carrier. Not sure why I'm doing a carrier, because that's what a lot of people. Oh yeah, it's because some people can't play a carrier, or I've seen people not knowing how to play a carrier in killer whale. Anyways, with that, if you have any questions, feel free to put it, or comments, feel free to put in the comment section below. Otherwise, I hope to see you with our weekly operation video here in a few days, and I hope you have a good one.